Hello, everyone, and welcome to State of the Realm, your weekly Final Fantasy XIV podcast. This week, we got news. Wrong day of the week, but the right assumption that the website for patch 5.3 was going to go up, as well as some interviews, as was mentioned by Yoshi P a couple weeks ago. So we're going to talk about that. And next week, we're going to do a show, same bat time, same bat place on the live letter news we're going to be getting next Wednesday on the 22nd. But anyway, let's get started. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Happy, and of course, joining me, my boy Blue, Sly, who only gets the one nickname depending on the week. You know, he sometimes gets four, sometimes gets one. How you doing, Sly?
I'll take one. One is acceptable. I'll take it. Hi, I'm good.
You know what they say? Everybody gets one.
Everybody gets one.
Spider-Man says that.
Spider-Man rule. Yep.
I had a dream I was Spider-Man the other night, but it really didn't make sense as to why I was Spider-Man. Because I saved a cat and a dog from a cult. Were you
pointing Spider-Man?
No, I was regular Spider-Man. I saved a cat and a dog from a cult that was trying to sacrifice animals and adopted the cat. And then I was Spider-Man, and I can't explain it. And I wasn't Spider-Man when I saved the cat and the dog, just to be clear. I just picked them up and carried them away. So I really can't explain it. But Spider-Man's on my mind, apparently.
From a cult.
Yeah, they were sacrificing animals, and I couldn't let that happen to the cat and the dog. I got a cat named Shadow for Aloha in that dream, or like as a friend.
Dreams, everyone.
Dreams, yeah.
This show is sponsored to you by Dreams.
No, that's a PS4 game, and they are not sponsoring this show right now. And it's a hilarious one that you should play. Oh, well, everyone, we've got news to get to, but before we do have sponsors for the show. Of course, Steel Series has been sponsoring the show for quite... No, not Dreams. It's not the sponsor of the show. Steel Series is. And they do not have any products that are called Dreams. They have keyboards and mice and all that stuff you can get with a 12% discount code, Mr. Happy 12, and using the link that'll be in the YouTube video or in the Twitch chat right now. And they also do monthly giveaways. We pulled the giveaway winner off stream last time. There's a new giveaway under this YouTube video when you see it tomorrow for those of you watching on Twitch, or today for those of you watching on YouTube. So go enter because it's free stuff. Why not? And of course, we have our sponsors over on Patreon who will get a longer shout out later in the show because we're going to get to some news right now. Sly.
News.
Sly, it's so close.
Woo.
It's so close.
It's almost here. It is almost here.
I'm frothing at the mouth right now. I don't care that Ghost of Tsushima came out today. I don't care that Paper Mario came out today. I don't care that Mineral Town came out 2 days ago.
Ghost of Tsushima is so good.
I don't care that Ooblets just came out. I don't care that Fae Tactics is suddenly coming out July 31st, which I just found out today, apparently. I care about August 11th and then 1.5 months after August 11th. And that's all I'm thinking about right now. I'm really thinking more about the 1.5 months after, but we'll get to that. And fortunately for us, Sly, we got both things Yoshi P said we would be getting soon this week. Did you just turn your monitor off or did your camera freeze? For the YouTube side of things, Discord's been all sorts of funky. I'm going to have edited out the last couple of minutes where Sly disappeared from the call. And apparently on my end, on his end, it looked like I disappeared from the call. So we're going to continue on with what we were talking about. And I believe we were talking about how we have news and that I don't care about all these game releases when I just want August 11th and 1.5 months after August 11th. And we'll go into the separation of that. Now, I guess we could start with the website. Realistically, the interviews are kind of the meat of everything.
Yeah, but we got images. We got these media images, and we can start with the website. Let's start with the website.
It's not even really much about the images to say, other than, so the descriptions for Reflection and Crystal is just Ardbert is bad and something bad's about to happen. That's literally it. The only other thing is recognizing Grahatia has an image where he's in the Crystal Tower using the staff. We'd assume he's sending the Scions back in that scene. But his condition doesn't seem to be getting better because his robe is becoming completely shrouded in crystal.
Yep.
Are we losing Best Boy Grahatia? Is he going to be frozen in time as a crystal, as his last sacrifice?
No.
No?
Nah, we can't lose Best Boy.
Why not?
because of what they alluded to in the interview that we'll go over.
Okay.
I'm thinking we lose him once we get to that point, which again I'll say will be the next expansion.
Nah, he's dying.
Yeah, that's what we're losing.
He's dying right now. Nah. It's more like gone, huh? There you go.
Terrible.
Yeah, that one wasn't that great. The website also had Heroes Gauntlet.
Yeah. Now, which image are you referring to? Are you referring to the actual image of the Heroes Gauntlet or
first,
the boss?
Slide the description.
Or the boss.
The description of the Heroes Gauntlet. Hero's path is fraught with danger, and these words will never ring truer as the whole of Novrant becomes a battlefield for the Warrior of Darkness. I still don't know if I think that's anything but just a figurative battlefield and not us actually running across all of Novrant as part of a dungeon.
Yeah.
But I'm infinitely more intrigued about it than I was prior, because it's going to be, no matter what it appears, it's going to be a giant, wide open experience, and I wonder how it's going to differ from that. Apparently, the other, I think it's the Japanese name, is actually Journey Across Novrant, the name of the dungeon. So it makes sense with this description here, but I just wonder what that entails. And again, if it's real, if it's like, or if it's just like a figurative thing where we're not actually going across and all the elements are mixed. Because in the last image, didn't we see it looked like it was in like Lakeland at one point, but it had like Ilmeg stuff, but this actually looks like Ilmeg.
This is Ilmeg, yeah, exactly. And then we had that boss image from Heroes Gauntlet, which I've been seeing a lot on Twitter.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of art and things. Y'all are some fucking filthy fucking degens, man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
So I went in on that one. I was ready for the subtle approach of where you began with that, and then it kind of just hit 100.
Straight no chaser. Y'all are filthy fucking degens. What's wrong with you?
It kind of just hit 110 right there. Yeah, Sly. I was gonna say the same thing. I was like, Sly, I've heard the way you talk about some of these characters. You know, you're in that boat, whether or not you know it.
I don't do art.
Oh yeah, no, total difference there.
Yeah, total difference. I don't do like, I don't do half the shit I've seen on Twitter. No, I mean,
but do you appreciate?
But to actually like I appreciate art, but to actually visualize it, to actually draw and color and do the whole nine, like this shit. It hasn't even been, how long has it been since we had this site? And there have been how many pictures I've seen on Twitter?
Too many.
Y'all fuckers work quick.
But are you happy they work quick? Sly, that's not an answer. That's what we call a deflection. That's, again, a deflection. Yeah, it was like within the hour, my Twitter feed had some things. Listen, man, sometimes you know what they say, it's all about inspiration.
They were inspired, all right.
I think there's an erectile pill called inspiration out there somewhere. Probably. I can imagine. He still never answered the question.
Talk to your doctor about inspiration.
There you go. That's the quote. That's the quote of the show right there. The other image that was all over my social, the better image, was the actual dungeon gear.
It looks dark nighty. That's the best way I can describe it.
It looks Amaranian above all else. Also, where are they standing? I just realized. Is that because the back behind them is like super?
The backdrop does look a little bit like Amaranth. It looks Moritine.
Yeah, I just don't know like where. Shrouded more than I'm used to. Maybe it's just because of the
maybe that's a part of the dungeon since we're going all over Norvrent.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's just because like it reminds me of a couple of places in the in Novron. It kind of reminds me of Amarant. It kind of reminds me of the castle. I mean, not. It reminds me more of Amarant than the castle in Ilmeg. Like some of the lighting reminds me of it. Yeah, but it's got to be something like that. It makes sense they take a picture there, but it's just like the backdrop with the like rings over the top. I don't know. I just don't remember that exact location.
I haven't seen that in the map. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while. I haven't been down to Amarant in ages, so I can't remember if that's a specific location that anyone has in mind. But the armor sets here look pretty dope. I gotta admit.
Yeah, they look good.
Maximum edgelord. There's some of them have like Heidelin crystals in the chest. Some of them have like Zodiark, like super edgy, dark sections in the chest. And you got the fucking.
You think they're alluding to something?
I think they're alluding to a lot of stuff involving Amarant in this patch, oddly enough, and the Ancients.
Yeah.
It's almost weird, right? It's almost like the end of the expansion or something. It's almost like the finale.
Yeah. It's almost like the finale of the Shadowbringers story, right?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? It's weird that they do this. I like the lampshade head, though. Mary posted a picture of just a guy wearing a lampshade on his head, and just is like same energy. It just looks exactly. I guess a kind of Dark Souls-esque vibe from Bro in the Middle. Right. So it's dope looking sets, though. I might actually have to run some dungeons.
Yeah, the one in the middle looks like Frey.
They made sure to make sure the Viera wasn't on a job that was like. Actually, no, they are on a job that would technically have a hat, aren't they? No, they are not. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They made sure they were on a job that didn't have an actual hat. They're like, don't use the Viera for the black mage or the white mage. Don't. We can't have any more threads about this. All right. We need to escape this. All right. So we've got the Hero's Gauntlet mystery trial. Who knows?
Who knows?
Okay, Sorrow of Warlid I don't want to talk about too much till we get to the interview, but it's we already knew this wasn't going to be a trial. We knew it was going to be a solo instance, and they emphasized it a little bit more in the interview. And
that's a good looking Sapphire weapon, though. I will say that.
We'll get to that because I need to go back and reference the old image we have with Cid, because the one that made me think it was going to be a giant robot battle, because something Yoshi P said stands out to me. And we'll get to that at some point. But those are all the major images. It's just like Gaius and Cid and you on an airship going to the location. You've got the dungeon boss. You've got the Amaradians, which is an image we saw already. We've got the list of content at the bottom. The only thing that I found of interest at the bottom was actually they've officially labeled Bozjan as a battlefield content and not as exploration content.
We'll get to that in a minute because it's better explained in the interview.
I can't wait to see it, though, because now I can't wait for Bozja. Give me the Bozja. All right. I'd say that we should get to it then. We just had to quickly go over that stuff because that is not the meat of the information. So far from the meat of the information.
And we were planning on doing a show about that. Just that.
Yeah, we didn't expect to get the interviews and the website. We would have spent a lot more time speculating on the website for this show, if not for the interviews being way more interesting. So a bunch of interviews came out. They were all from a bunch of different Japanese media sites, the usual, 4Gamer, Famitsu, the entire crew. And there's a Reddit post that credits all of them for the original interviews and all the original posts. We're looking at a summarized version. Slice even put it in a document and added some notes of his own to it. So that's what we're going to be using. And oh boy, is there a lot to go over here, Sly. It starts pretty tame, fortunately. It's just like 5.3 is the conclusion of Shadowbringers. There's a lot of cutscenes. Elidibus is there.
Yeah, pay close attention to Elidibus. Like, we didn't know that already, but okay.
You know what bugs me and is going to bug me until we can make sense of it? There's a lot of conversations in 5.3 that contain hints that won't be immediately obvious until we get to later patches. That means now I'm going to have to over-extrapolate every piece of dialogue I don't understand to like...
Don't we already do that anyway?
No, we do that without being prompted because we're like, I wonder if it's really worth even thinking about it. It probably doesn't matter much. Or like, oh yeah, we didn't have that answered. He's just like, oh yeah, there's just conversation. And it's like, it almost implies that like it's going to be candidly teasing something really important. And we won't really realize it right away until way, way later. And that when I want to speculate, I like to speculate on like things that I deem are important, but now I'm going to overthink everything.
Again, we already do that.
No, we don't do it as much as we're going to do it this patch, because the next two statements make it so we kind of can't be a little bit more lackadaisical with speculating on this patch. It'll be 99% of the Shadowbringer story done. Not 100% apparently, 99%.
God, I feel like that's an arbitrary number for like. So there's 1%, and are they saying it's an important 1%? Is that what they're like? Just say the story will resolve the Shadowbringer story. Just say it, because they're like, I'm trying to think of past expansions where there was stuff lingering.
There's always something lingering in 5.3. There's always something.
Yeah, and see, that's the thing. We're used to that. So, like, just go ahead and say, like, Shadowbringer story is going to end in 5.3. That's it. Full stop. There will be lingering stuff. We already know that, but it's like you're overemphasizing that for a reason.
Well, for me, the next statement is the big one, because they said that we're not done with Zodiark and Hydaelyn.
I could have told you that.
Done with Shadowbringers. We're not done with Zodiark and Hydaelyn. We don't know what's going to happen to them. We don't know why we have them outside of, what we've been told by the Convocation, essentially, the remaining members, the Unsundered. We are heading towards and finally stepping into the conclusion portion of Hydaelyn and Zodiark. But we're not there yet. And there's going to be some shit that gets really bad once 5.3 ends. Like some really bad, as if it wasn't already really bad. There's going to be some more really, really bad shit that's happening once 5.3 is over. I'm wondering if the reason they don't say 100% is because until Hydaelyn and Zodiark are completely resolved, that they can't really say it's like done. Like we might be done with the Ascians, Elidibus, but can we really say we're done until like their actual existence and what caused it is not resolved? We have to fight Lavos. I'm telling you, it's Lavos, man. It's been Lavos all along.
Is that the next crossover? Is that the next alliance raid?
I don't even know if it'll be a crossover, but it's Lavos, all right? It's our Lavos. I Lavos him. Please?
No.
Final Fantasy 14. It was actually me. Chrono Trigger. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just whatever caused them to actually have to summon Zodiark is still unresolved, is the big thing there. So until they're entirely resolved, I think that's the remaining 1%, is finishing up the Hydaelyn Zodiark story. And I'm ready for
That's a big 1%. That's a big 1%, and I think that gets resolved next expansion.
A whole nother expansion of that? Like, that's crazy to think to me.
Yeah, I mean, shit, we're all like, I was saying that this expansion would resolve Garlemald, and it's slowly but surely resolving Garlemald. I thought Garlemald would get its own expansion. Nah, fam. But yeah, I honestly think next expansion will like be the definitive Zodiark v Hydaelyn, story, like the end of that story, the end of an era.
And you make fun of me for my jokes. Come on now. That's not fair. Well, I mean, we are going to learn the direction Garlemald is heading in 5.3, as if that hasn't been something we've been learning for the past 7 years. What's Garlemald doing? I'll tell you next time. Are you going to tell us now?
Tell you next time is.
Yeah, next time.
It's not like it's on fire right now.
No, they're fine. One of their generals is only going rogue and trying to take over the entire world using his own methods. Their actual leader is dead, and one of them has actually been seeing dreams of the end of the Amyrodian civilization since he was born for some inexplicable reason, while an Ascian or even just what's his face Asahi himself is just chilling in a white robe, you know. Nothing going on in Garlemald at all. Not to mention a weapon project that we're actually going to the outpost that houses the weapon project in the actual patch for the solo instance. So it's like,
yeah,
nothing about Garlemald at all. You know, no big deal. It's going to be a very Garlemald heavy patch. You got to remember, like, a lot of our side content is Garlemald focused this time around. And by a lot, I mean 2 things, but that's a lot. Okay. As far as I'm concerned, that's categorically a lot when it comes to Final Fantasy XIV. You know what I'm categorically disappointed for already?
Yorha.
Nier Yorha Dark Apocalypse. I still don't have that much optimism for it. And this again did nothing to make me feel that any better than I did the last time we talked about it.
But there's going to be more emphasis on the Nier part of it.
Yeah, great. It says Nier elements, though. It doesn't say, like, the Nier story. Like, I take that more as, like, there's going to be more references, and they kind of elaborate on that later. Stuff that digs into other Nier lore, which, you know, opens up Drakengard and the original Nier and stuff like that. So we might not... I don't think it just means they're not going to be tying it to 14. It just means that more things from Nier that aren't just big robot go brrr are going to be fucking appearing this time around.
Could we have gotten a Drakengard crossover instead? I would have loved that.
I mean, we did. It's called the Nier Automata.
No. Drakengard. Nier is specific endings and yada yada yada.
This is specific endings. This is the ending with 9S going off into space controlling the robots. This is specific endings.
I wanted Drakengard.
Literally, there will always be a new game that can be made by Yoko Taro because he just picks one of his endings and goes, yeah, I guess. He saw Chrono Trigger do it with Chrono Cross, and he's like, that seems like a good idea. It didn't work for Chrono Cross. You're very lucky, Yoko Taro. It really didn't work for Chrono Cross. Yeah, you just want giant flying babies. You just want to kill giant babies. That's all you want. That eat people, to be fair, but, you know.
Yeah. Gotta preface that. You just can't say you want to kill giant babies.
Yeah, they're eating people, but you know, it's whatever. It's a side effect of being a giant baby.
But yeah, I'm kind of in agreement with you in terms of the reward structure and everything. Like I really don't care for the rewards for Nier. I mean, I'm just there for the story. I want to see how it all connects, supposedly. Even though I warn people that shit would fall through the cracks, and you're like, no, they got it.
I didn't say no. I said I will wait and see. To be clear, I never had faith in this. I said maybe. You made me err on being cautiously optimistic because it could be better, but it probably won't.
Nope, shit fell through the cracks. Like I anticipated.
And the thing is,
I really felt like it was a reach, and I still like to this day do, based on what little we got last patch or the last quest that we got in Tamra, alluding to a carnival or festival. It's really a reach. It's a big reach, in all honesty.
I mean, and all these other statements are so vague, I can't even really extrapolate them. The second tier will cause the players to think, aren't we approaching the Nier Automata territory already? What the hell does that mean? That can't mean gear, because we're way past that. We were approaching that ages ago.
And if you're talking about story, 9S was there, like, we're already in the Nier Automata.
The bunker is a big deal. The bunker is a big deal when you talk about Nier Automata.
Yes.
Like,
we're already there, so what do you mean?
I don't know. I just,
same.
I can, here's what I'll say. I'll restate my statement. I didn't want a 24-man that told another game's story or expanded another game's story. I wanted a 24-man that expanded 14's story. So it can be fun, it can be cool, but it can still be very disappointing at the same exact time. And if it literally is just Nier story, it has nothing to do with 14, I will consider that a major disappointment. And I will ask that they never do it again.
I just want to take a breath. Like, that's all you had to do. You pretty much knocked it out of the park at the end of Stormblood in terms of 24 minutes. And then Nier. Like, wait, we're not gonna deal with
we're dealing with that. We're doing that.
I mean, we're dealing with that. Yeah. I feel like it could have been dealt with in a 24-minute, and I feel like that's probably the best place to do it.
We'll see, because Bajdo is off to a strong start, even with just the first little bit with the resistance weapon. So I'm very optimistic about Bajdo, especially after these interviews. But I'm not optimistic. And here's the thing. As a piece of content, 24 mans are not like cutting edge, high end. They just need to be somewhat fulfilling to run multiple times. That's literally all they need to do to fill their content quota. Which is why the story being so disconnected will always be such a gripe point for me. At least with stuff like Rathalos or 15, it's so low impact on the rest of the game, but this is eating an entire expansion's worth of 24-man content that could be expanding the world of Final Fantasy 14, and that will be a disappointment to me if it doesn't even make a remote attempt to do it.
Fair.
So it's no Ivalice.
Can't even fault you in that.
I think at this point I have zero hope it will even remotely come close to Ivalice's level or even Crystal Tower's level of more involvement.
Oh no. I mean, like, it does have its fan base, like those who really love Nier. Sure, I mean, it's for you. It does nothing for like the 14 side of things, in my opinion. Yeah,
but you'll get your gear. The equipment's going to be based on those shadow figures in the back, so start looking through them to see if they have any outlines that you can see. There's going to be no like to-be dress thing for people to roll on, so people, that's
no two booty.
No 24 people are rolling on it boxes specifically. No. Now that doesn't say that they won't have 8-man boxes that are like this, just not one that all 24 people have to roll on. So maybe they finally make it, a different drop for each party. Maybe we're lucky with that in that regard. That's possible. I don't care, but for people who do, I want them to be happy.
Yeah.
And then they just talk about how they've already decided the gear for the current roles and the third raid. They did specifically say the third raid's going to have more expanded Nier universe types of armor and not strictly Nier Automata. More variation and pattern based on the lore. So,
okay. All right.
At least that's how I'm interpreting more variation based on Nier's lore. Because that's not Nier Automata, Nier, So
Nier. Just Nier.
That's it. That's all they've got. I'll know August 11th. If I'm disappointed on August 11th slide, I'll let everyone know very quickly. And I'll never do it again. After I make the guide, I'll never do it again. That is how I will rebel against the machines. Literally.
Terrible.
Terrible. Patch 5.3 trial.
We don't know. It's a secret.
Sly, who do you think it is, though? Who do you think it is? Come on, Sly. Who do you think it is?
You'll never guess. Like, that's what Yoshi P said. I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try to guess because, okay. I mean, the obvious thing would have been to say it's Ellentill, but not Ellentill. So it would have been something, if itself was Hades, what the fuck is Ellentill? We don't know. So I'm not even going to try to jump down that rabbit hole. I'm just going to be pleasantly surprised. Like, I don't get it. Yeah, that's probably going to be my reaction.
I actually think I know.
All right.
And I realized it earlier today.
Okay.
It is Ellentill, but it's his true name, which in Tactics would have been Serpentarius or Ophiuchus. That would have been his official name because that's what he transforms into in Tactics. So whatever his like how Emmett Selk is Hades, Elidibus is blank. So that's because there's literally nothing to indicate that. So like my guess has to be something that there's no way to instantly tell what it's going to be. You know? So I don't want to guess it's Xenos Zodiark absorbed. It won't be because we know Hydaelyn. We know Xenos is sticking around. By them saying we're not done with Hydaelyn and Zodiark, that almost guarantees we're not done with Xenos in 5.3. Because he wants to slurp up Zodiark's ether, and then fight us. That's what he wants. And who even knows what's going on with him anymore? Vana would be another guess, like Vana. I think I figured that out too. And I think so Xenos is Final Fantasy 12's or the 12th Legion's leader. And Vayne Solidor was groomed by an Okuria Vana in order to achieve his goals. So that's his relation, because all the legions have some relation to a character. We had Gaius being exclusive to 14, so he has no difference. We had Nail being part of the 7th, and he summoned the Meteor Project. We had What's-His-Face, leader of the 6th. We had Regular for the 6th, but he was more like a General Leo than a Kefka. Yeah. So it's a manipulation. That's all. That's where I'm going to go. All right.
That's a hell of a conspiracy board right there,
bro. I'm ready. You're talking to the guy who said Yorha Dark Apocalypse, that 2P was actually Ida. You're forgetting that you said that. I went down that road because I was like, oh, Yorha Dark Apocalypse, Ida. There you go. That's the real Ida, and Lisa's the one that we've been, obviously Lisa we already know was pretending to be Ida. That's it. Easy peasy. Easy peasy. See, I can do this all day, man.
Now, the interesting stuff, and boy, Unreal Trials Faux Hollows. Yeah. So we know what our first one will be.
We've known that, yes.
The one thing that got me in terms of the information that we got, in terms of the interview, they know you'll eventually end up getting bored of it if you repeat the same routine every week. Therefore, bosses will be swapped after each patch. I know I skipped a really, quote unquote, semi-important little bit of info, but by every patch, they mean 0.5 patches.
No, they told us every major patch. They told us this in the live.
Then that doesn't leave a lot. Then like the way this was teased, and them saying, well, every patch. Okay, so we're getting 3 Unreals.
No, I don't think that was ever unclear. I don't think that was ever unclear that they meant Shiva was until 5.4. In fact, I'm almost positive the translations, the unofficial ones, go into more detail on it. And they said eventually they'd like to do 2 of them in a patch. So start with 1 and then move to 2, and then you probably alternate them every week or something.
Okay.
Shiva's there from 5.3 until 5.4. I never misunderstood that.
It was like the way it was teased to me felt like it was going to be something, something big, quote unquote. Like not even big, but something to kind of tide everybody over until the next Ultimate or whatever.
No. Where was the confusion? I swear nobody reads. So many fucking tweets about this shit. There was never any confusion. People just don't fucking read.
I was born to lead, not to read.
Unreal Shiva's 5.3. It lasts until 5.4. Then a different one replaces it. They said they were going to keep it at extreme difficulty. They specifically avoided Titan because it was too close to a Savage for the first one. And they said they would at most modernize mechanics, which mostly means updating an AoE marker or something, and otherwise they wouldn't be very different. We've known this.
Okay.
None of this was a surprise.
What's after Titan?
We don't even know if Titan's the next one. They may not go right to him in 5.4.
I mean, but
they'll do Titan. Coming, so.
Let's be real. Yeah, like let's be honest. Like, let's not fuck around. Okay, so besides Titan, who else?
Thornton. Thornton's an easy one. Well, an easy guess, to be clear. That's an easy guess to be like, of course they'll do Thornton at some point. They're literally any old primal. They could do a little 70 primal for all I fucking care while we're at level 80. It doesn't matter. They're bumping it to 80. They have to balance and check it to make sure that it fits that specific patch. And then they say, here you go. The only thing I wanted to know what the minimum item level is, and I'm assuming it's the same as the other EX in the patch. So whatever like the 5.3 extreme trial is, I'm assuming this is the same entry. Maybe less even. That's it. It's literally, I don't know. I read so much confusion. I'm like, what did you think it was? It blew my mind.
We even had the conversation about like, well, they're gonna, are they gonna do every other week? Are they gonna like switch it off? Yada yada yada.
No, we knew that. Yeah. No, we don't want to do Moogle. Yeah. Whoever's saying Moogle, you're banned. All right, ban them. You're done.
Wow.
You're done. If you're saying, please give me Moogle, you're done. That's it. We don't want it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So moving on.
No, we're not done yet. We're not done with that yet, Sly. We still don't know what the Faux Hollow minigame actually is. Because people forget, this isn't for the sake of the primal. This is a vessel with which we gain access to the Faux Hollow, which I'm assuming is just Wondrous Tales 2.0 Electric Boogaloo.
Faux Hollow. Faux Hollow sounds like a place.
It sounds like Chloe's gonna fucking put a board game in front of us and say, click something once and hope you get loot. I think it's just going to be, literally, I think it's Wondrous Tales, but it's like, you'll just play it all at once or some shit like that. Nothing more fancy than that. Because we already know that it's our little book girl that's responsible for this. Yeah. She was out at lunch one day and she bumped into the Wandering Minstrel and he's like, hey, you want to learn to do some bullshit? Here you go. And now she's got this for us. It's exactly what happened. Because that's what she's doing. What, Sly? Use your words.
No. It's I kind of go with what you're saying because I like in the back of my head I was thinking like, wait, something like maps or no, nothing like maps.
I'd be down with that because we aren't getting, as far as we know so far, we may find out differently on Wednesday. We're not getting another map variation in 5.3. So it's entirely possible that it's,
like
it's
to
a new
do,
map. Yeah.
So, but to do this, to get access to that.
That's content. It's weekly content, man. You form that Faux Hollow party and then you all go do each other's maps. That's it.
Yeah. Too much effort for a fucking map. I'm sorry, no.
It's not, if it's got mounts and minions, it isn't. Not if I'm about to be fucking loaded, it's not.
With my luck on maps? With my luck? And you only get to do it once a fucking week? Yeah, okay. Nah, fam. I'll stick to regular fucking maps. Thank you.
Nah, dude.
Please and thank you.
Nah, dude. We be good. It'll be good. I'm going to do it. Every week we're doing Faux Hollow on Primal. Let's go.
Okay.
Every week. If it's
all
maps.
Right, yeah, like... Yeah, but, yeah. We'll find out what it is. But yeah, I'm more akin to your, board game type thing rather than maps. Please don't let it be maps. Like, forget I even said that fucking idea. Don't do that, please. Yeah, we'll see.
Do it.
Now we can talk about Star Worlet and how. Okay, here's the thing. I'm interested. I'm semi-excited, but I really feel sorry for Sapphire Weapon because I feel like it's the cool thing to fucking meme on Sapphire Weapon now. It's like whenever you include Sapphire Weapon in anything, it's just gonna be a meme. It's not even gonna be real fucking
No, he's gonna get an intense battle here.
It's not going to be super fucking Robot Wars, so it's not going to be intense battle. It's just going to be
Sly.
You get 3 actions. No. Well, I'm sorry, 5. You'll get 5 actions. You will get 5 fucking actions. That's it.
But
That's
you're being a giant robot. Sly, tell me what this sentence means to you. It's described as a content that contained all our dreams of a man of the era. What does that mean to you, Sly?
A man of the era? That means fuck all of me. I don't know what the fuck that means.
The dreams of a man of our era. The man of our era wants giant robot battles. That's what he wants. That is all the dreams of a man of our era. He wants giant robot battles. I'm not giving up on it, Sly. I'm not giving up on my dream.
Fine.
Maybe I'm the man, and I suggested this.
Have your giant robot fight. It's just 5 actions. That's your fight. That you do things. You do things.
Sly, hold on.
It could have been cool. It could have. Like Sapphire could have been. Sapphire even looks cool. He even looks cool. Now he gets relegated to this.
Hold on. I'm pulling up the press site. I need to see if the images from the last live letter are on here. Yes, they are. I'm still not unconvinced that the one with the lightsaber is our robot. Because I look at the old screenshot and it's still Sid and you just casually looking up at this robot, and then we see it again with the lightsaber later. Okay? I'm still not entirely unconvinced that they aren't somewhat similar. And no, I'm looking at them both right now, and they are completely and 100% identical in the images. Down to the blue. The thing is, it's got sapphire colors. Is the big thing that works against me here. He's got like the blue cufflinks and the golden chest part in the middle. I'm just saying, I'm not unconvinced at this point that that's not our robot, but it's probably not. But it's just, I don't know, dude. Sid in the Warrior Light just like, robot. Maybe we'll use Sapphire Weapon against them. We'll ravage through that base. Exactly. They made Ruby Weapon look exactly like his Final Fantasy VII counterpart. Why would they not do it for Sapphire too? Exactly. Listen. My hope, Sly. Let me have this.
I'll let you dream. You can dream a little dream.
I'm gonna dream all the dreams. Dream within a dream. I haven't played Ninja in ages.
Why do I just give you these toss-ups? I don't know.
Dude, you throw them up, and I lay them out. There we go. Would you like to move on now, Sly?
Yes, I would. Please, thank you.
Okay.
Ishgard. Nothing really too deep about Ishgard. Again, 3 to 4 weeks after patch 5.3. So 0.31.
Yeah.
Ranking period will be the same as before, so 10 days. The rewards are titles, but different from the previous titles. So,
Sly, I'm gonna present you with something that maybe I misunderstood it. So I'll take the fault on this. You know, it's
okay.
We all make mistakes. Did they not say titles were gonna stay the same so people didn't have to do this more than once?
They did say that. They did say that. I remember that.
Okay, what am I to think when that they meant? Because this, I guess they just meant you don't have to do it more than one job per cycle. Like maybe they meant if you're competing for the alchemist title, don't bother competing for the culinarian because they're the same title in the same patch.
But different from previous.
Sly, I know people who put their lives on hold like it was a savage raid tier to get top placed for this last time. I don't know if they have the same enthusiasm to do it again. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced about any of this, but I'm really not convinced about that.
What? Let me read the last part. Scoring top ranking for the second ranking period will net you the reward from that specific timeline.
Which means this timeline. Which means it's different than the last one.
Different from the previous.
Slight. I don't craft, so maybe I don't have the right to have an opinion about this.
I don't. I have my crafter's level. Don't ask me anything.
But this is not good.
It's not what they said. Yeah. It's different from what they said. So yes, I agree.
It's not even about being different from what they said, but this whole 10-day thing every 4 months is it's not good.
And we talked about this when this was brought up. Yeah. What would be a sufficient period to do this? Because like once every patch kind of sucks. And it doesn't allow you know, I mean, it's competitive, but at the same time, it's only 10 days. 10 days every however many months, like now that everything's going on. So do you think they should revisit this content in terms of the timing and maybe open up season? Well, not season. Well, I don't know if you could call them seasons.
I would call them seasons. I feel like they literally
let's go with seasons. Let's go with seasons. What were we saying at the beginning? We were saying 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, new season.
2 weeks, I think. I think once a month would have been fine. Like the first 10 days of any month would have been fine, or every 4 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, I said every 2 weeks. That would be insane. That
means you'd have a 4-day cooldown period, and then people have to start trying again. It's so much effort that there does need to be a cooldown period. I agree with them for not just running it we initially thought it was literally every 10 days when we first saw this announced. So it would be every 30 days there'd be a 3 and then they'd run them forever. We didn't think it was only the first 10 days back then. Then we found out it's only the first 10 days. And we were like, because as soon as it's done, if Ishgard's not finished being rebuilt, it takes forever to finish the rest of it, which is not necessarily bad, but nobody gives a shit. They're like, oh, I guess we'll just finish Ishgard, whatever. People are like leveling their crafters, and like that's what's finishing Ishgard. No, if everyone just stops caring, because the 10-day period was not enough to finish Ishgard, but if Ishgard's done before then, people complain that it's too short. But then now it's different titles every time when they said it'd be the same title every time. There's so many faults. The best thing out of this is expert crafting, which is good. Like actual skill-based, decision-based crafting. That is the shining light at the end of all of it. But like this isn't, I wouldn't say this idea is working any more than people who didn't like Eureka thought Eureka wasn't working. You know, like, oh, we forced you to do this in order to get this one thing, and it will be really populated as a result. But as a structure of content, there's too many things falling through the cracks.
We'll just have to see. We'll just have to see. Well, this is one of the things we need clarification on. We were talking about this before the show. This, like, yeah, this would be one of the questions I would ask. So what do you mean by different? Because you clearly said, you know, it would be same titles and everything, but now we're getting different titles? Why?
I just feel bad,
so, yeah,
I feel bad for people who worked so hard on the first one, because I know they're going to work really hard on the second one. I had so many people tell me how they never wanted to see another expert recipe again. They needed to make sure they got the title so that they never had to do this again. They would be like, that's it. This is the first one. I'll let everyone else do it. And now those same people read this and they're thinking to themselves, like, not again. Not again. Oh no. Oh no. And their soul just sinks into their feet and then walks off without them. I hope that's a mistranslation for their sake.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going anywhere near this. I'm going to be playing Crystal Chronicles when this shit's going down. All right? That's what I'm going to be doing. Y'all can do your diadem and your ish. I'm going and playing Crystal Chronicles during that time, okay? That's what I'm doing. So enjoy your Ishgard and good luck on your titles.
Now we get to talk about something you are actually pretty excited for. Bozja.
Oh boy.
All right, Oh boy. Since you are the conductor for this hype train, I'm going to let you lead this one off.
So Bozja,
this you.
As we suspect, it'll be 6 weeks after patch 5.3, which I want to say, getting that confirmation is again confirmation that they're trying to stay back on the original patch schedule. Because this is what predictable Final Fantasy XIV patch scheduling looks like. The thing that you and I have gotten so used to doing. And we want that back after this, because it's been a hell of an extra 2-month wait, even with all the other things to keep our attention in that time. We still want the good schedule back. So that was my first takeaway from that. I hope it stays on schedule and that nothing comes up that changes that. Oof. The scale of the content is larger than when Eureka first started. Low bar. Onimos did not have a whole lot going for it. Low bar.
You really didn't even fuck around with it. Low bar.
Well, think about it this way. Okay, so this is the first. Okay. We'll compare first iteration to first iteration. Onimos was the least amount of ideas incorporated into Eureka comparatively to all the rest. Pagos saw higher threat. It saw the sleeping dragon. It saw to emphasize aggro type more than the original did. It started adding Eureka effect items. It added bunny fates, elemental conflicts as they were called. They started being more than just a crystal grind in there. Then we had the Logos actions and Pyros. We had the Baldesion Arsenal and Hydados. And we saw the evolution of Magicite and, you know, the Eureka fragment armor and all sorts of things that were more valuable to Eureka than Onimos's blank slate, here's where you get started kind of mode. So low bar. Even if you want to compare the patch cycle of 5.35 of this to 4.35, which was actually Pagos, low bar, because that was not generally received well. So that's good to hear. Because if it was the same, it wouldn't have been bad, but it wouldn't have been as exciting to talk about. Now, we have confirmed, and we knew this already, there is a separate leveling system called Resistance Rank. You'll be able to do this easily solo. There's nothing that forces you to have a party. Now, contrast that to Eureka, where they often said you can do it solo, but it's designed around party play. The zones are designed around party play. This is designed as a more jump in, jump out experience that anyone should feel comfortable getting into. I hope they're not overemphasizing the possibility of solo. I won't need it, but there are people who desperately want it to be that way. And resistance rank does not... It's weird because that doesn't sound the same as elemental level. Like, resistance rank...
I mean, I understood that. I kind of got it. Like, resistance rank, yeah. Like, I saw elemental level. So
my brain tells me that, but the naming, it feels like they just wanted alliteration over just saying it's levels. Because rank makes it sound like there's like a hierarchy to it, like Grand Company rank.
Like GCs?
Yeah. And especially with the next statement.
I mean, I see why you would say that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Well, there's a statement that says about how when you join content, you get more rank points based on your performance, which is a whole can of worms to open in itself. We'll leave that for a little bit later because there's a really important point regarding performance with one of the other features in here. My brain wants to tell me this is fancy speak for did you get bronze, silver, or gold like a Fate?
Yeah. I mean, weren't we thinking that with we wanted gold with Fates and Eureka, right? Why wouldn't that be any different?
Exactly. That was that's the Fate system has always been a performance-based system, but it's three very distinct tiers. To put any emphasis on it draws question of if it is actually similar, or is it more of an actual contribution system, something like you see in PvP where you actually see people's contributions on your team, for example. How close is it to one versus the other? It's the wording above all else. So I really need to see this on Wednesday. I don't care because I try hard in everything. I'll just go healer and I'll probably get more. Tanks and healers will probably get mad credit to the point where it doesn't matter. And if it's just gold, silver, and bronze like a Fate, it won't matter anyway. Everyone will be grouped up. But if it's actual performance, healers, tanks, and DPS have very different ways of being measured. And that could create a bit of a divide in what you see go on inside of Bajja. Maybe not, because I don't think Red Mage reses are going to be contributing quite as much as people hope they are. But still go Red Mage. I tell you that as the not-Red Mage player.
Please. We need you. We need you.
They also confirmed there will be a Logos action equivalent called Lost Actions. Maybe you'll find your Keen Flurry and Ring of Thorns in there.
Hooray.
They were lost and now they're found.
Yay.
They don't go into too much detail. They said it's based on feedback from Eureka. I don't remember much feedback about Logos Actions. I think some people didn't like the way you obtained
so when did we see it? Like, I never scoured the forums to look and see if anybody said anything about Logos Actions. I mean, the most I get out of in terms of like feedback for Logos Actions is how much money is this gonna fucking make us? Yeah.
I think some people didn't like it.
So how much money will Lost Actions make us? That's the only thing I'm worried about.
Yeah, all I can remember is that some people didn't like that tacticals were tied exclusively to mutated boxes, and some people didn't like, in Pyros specifically, that offensive and protectives were linked to gold boxes. That's it. That's the only feedback I can remember. And also maybe reflect farming being a little too effective because it like shut out a lot of creativity with the other Logos Actions after people figured it out. I kind of hope there is nothing like reflect farming in here. I would actually like to mess around because the most fun I had in Pyros was the first 10 levels or so before we really figured out reflect farming. When people were using buffs that increase damage and people were trying to like the 16 times boost catastrophe warriors blowing themselves up with home gang doing 1 million damage and shit like that. That was the best part about Logos Action. As soon as reflect took over, everyone stopped really giving a shit until Baldessian Arsenal. So I want to see that again. I want to see that creativity people really had in the first week with all the actions. So I really hope Reflect isn't as relevant. As someone who also just recently redid Eureka, I can tell you Reflect's even more relevant now because of just how fast it is compared to everything else.
All right.
I also want to make money, so
yeah, that's the major thing. Like, that's the major thing I'm worried about is just making money.
Any actions?
How much is this going to net us?
Any actions that you want to see? Any like idea for an action you want to see? It doesn't have to be like one that's already in the game because you can go nuts with this. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
I mean, it's hard to be creative when we have shit like logograms and we have shit like Blue Mage. I mean, we literally have sandboxes in this game right now. What else could we have?
Maybe one that just lets like a demi Bahamut follow you, like as a not summoner.
Demi Bahamut as like your companion, your chocobo.
Summon L. There you go. Summon L action. There you go. That's the one. Summon L. And it's I don't know, it doesn't have to be him, but like things like that. It's stuff that's like more like Final Fantasy V system, which is kind of how the original Logos actions worked anyway. So just more crazy shit. Yeah, just drop Dalamud on them.
Right.
Memories of Nail. L. Drop Dalamud on them.
Memories of Nail. You've gotten good at naming shit. I'll say that.
Is that good? I don't think it was.
I like Memories of Nail. I like that.
There you go. Just drop fucking Dalamud on their head. Dude, I'm waiting for us to hijack some Ruby weapons in there and just fucking just jet across the battlefield. Oh my god. Yeah, there could also do like infinite resource ones, like job gauges, like one that's like inner release where your job gauge, whatever it is, it like freezes for like 10 seconds or something, regardless of what job you're playing. That's a cool one.
Mm-hmm.
Or Ultima L. Where's Ultima L? Yeah, Meteor L, Ultima L, Demi L. Some of the crazy shit that, you know, we could still see. We had shit like Bravery and Faith and Magic Burst, Double Edge, Bloodbath. Sorry. You know.
Sorry.
That's all I can really say. One big thing is Bosch actually has a goal, which is a weird thing to say when you think about it, because you think, wait,
when you think
really
about
didn't have a goal.
Eureka content, yeah, like there's a goal.
BA was the only one.
Isn't the goal to, get a weapon or something out of this? Like get to max elemental level and just leave?
I think it's because of the story aspects. They had to actually, because if it's just a battlefield that can never theoretically see an end, then the story never actually resolves. Like obviously this instance will always be there, and like winning doesn't mean it goes away. But they needed like an actual finale to this kind of, and they had it to Eureka. But you can't just have a quest where you run to a location and then it's like, well, I guess this Ethernet is working again. We'll go to the next zone next time. It doesn't work. You know what I mean? So they needed to give this an actual something goal oriented. And so I approve of that. Destroy the enemy fort, which Ethicist told us about in great detail. And if I remembered any of it, we'd talk about it right now. So sorry, Ethis, but I only remember what you told me, but not the names of anything you told me about it.
We'll study it eventually for next Norvrantia or Eozivia.
He even went over the real life inspiration of it too. He went over all of it.
Yeah.
Every little bit. And I don't remember. So then they went over to what kind of content's in there. So the main content is skirmishes and critical engagements. Skirmishes, you get a battle report, you go off and do all sorts of different missions, and they trigger all the time. They're super quick. So these are not events you'll be sitting around and like really trying to like just grind monsters and spawn. They'll be trying to make it feel like you're being called all around the battlefield to like actually deal with objectives. Cool. That means no sitting around just killing things. I'd assume there'll still be stuff like that in there, but it won't be like the only way to approach the zone. Skirmish side is basically join an operation, kind of like Fates. Everyone freely joins, you accumulate points, and they happen very often. So that's kind of like what we said. No matter what they do, it's kind of no matter what going to be Fates. You know, no matter what you do, you can't have us run around a zone and do objectives without it being intrinsically tied to a fate-like system.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. We have Yokai Watch sometime in 5.3 again, so I'm already going to be used to it by then.
Have fun.
I need to get the dancer weapon, man. Come on.
Is it really that important, though?
I mean, yeah. They put all this effort into making me a weapon.
What I'm hearing right now is that you want Yokai Watch Samurais back. So
no, I didn't say that.
No,
I said I want the dancer
That's what I'm
weapon.
hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
I said I want the dancer weapon.
That's all I'm hearing is just Yokai Watch Sam.
Then you got to clean those fucking ears out, man, because I didn't say nothing like that.
If you bring back Yokai Watch, you have to deal with this.
I don't have to. Next time that happens, I'm kicking that person.
You probably
will. Our mistake was not that he had the watch on and we didn't notice. It's that we didn't kick him after we noticed, and we saw how poorly he was performing anyway.
It was content.
It was our fault. It was also my body piece that I lost to this fucking guy when he already had his bis body piece, which was the tombstone.
It was content. This was content for you to experience, and we wouldn't have the story.
I don't want to experience it ever again.
You're probably going to. Just saying.
I'm just going to they're putting 4 new weapons in the game for the Yokai Watch event. 1 for Red Mage, 1 for Samurai, 1 for... You know what makes even less sense about Yokai Watch Samurai? They didn't even have a weapon at the time. They're getting it now. It makes even less sense that it happened on Samurai. He just chose to do it on that job. They didn't even have a weapon for him yet.
That's fucking awesome.
But now they'll have one. So I'm more likely to see it now.
Yeah, you're more likely to see it now. You've just willed this into existence again.
Fuck. Well, yeah, at least I have Bajja.
Yeah, you do.
Damn right.
You do.
Speaking of which, there are other content. Critical Engagements is a new type of battle content in the Southern Bajdan front. But the general theme is it's a giant battle. Like it's a battle that's above a skirmish in regards to how it actually affects the flow of battle. It can be there's a bunch of different objectives it can actually be. One could be like to destroy like a giant war machine. One could be to defeat all the forces in front of you. I'd imagine it's only like 3 objectives, maybe 4 total that you could possibly experience. But when they happen, players can queue up inside of the instance in order to be thrown into this. But it only supports up to, it seems, between 24 to 48 people. Meaning that if there's more than that queuing in, you may not get entered. Yeah.
That worried me when I read that.
That worried me too.
Because there's something we're going to talk about later that I go and praise the devs for, but it seems like they're repeating the same mistakes they made with Balduscian Arsenal to begin with.
I think
this is like everybody content.
Yeah. EA was not everybody content. They just accidentally told us it was.
No. And see, this is actual everybody content. So unless this is like instance-based within an instance.
But no, see, the thing is, it will be, but that's not the problem. The problem is more than 48 people can be in the zone.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. So unless this is like, okay, so you have the zone. And the zone is its own instance altogether, right?
Right. Every there's usually like 2 or 3 instances running at any given time.
Okay. So unless you make this an instance within this big ass instance, like not everybody can do it. I mean, I get the people, like, I get that the sense that people will, want to do their own thing and not go in, and that's fine too. But
not the first 2 weeks, they won't. First 2 weeks of that content, every single person's going to want it. But there is a caveat to this, Sly.
Okay. All right.
You can make an item to give yourself and your party members priority. Which BA had one major problem, because BA did this too. Where you can make this item, but nobody cared. Mm-hmm. I have a feeling people might care a little bit more this time around.
At the beginning, yes. Like 100%, they're going to fucking care.
But if everyone makes it, let me tell you this. People in this game are lazy. Nobody's making it. So if you make it, you're probably getting in. That's what I like to hear. That's the sound I like to hear. I can tell you for a fact I'm making it. I was going to make the Baldesion Arsenal one, but we had to do it so frequently that we never had the time to make the items when we were trying to like prog it early on. This is not that. This is literally just it's like there shouldn't be failure, kind of like 24-man-esque difficulty content, which means there will be failure and you'll be very disappointed when there is.
Mm-hmm.
But I still agree that as much as I get they wanted to create an instance, they wanted to glorify a different type of content within there. This is going to be a salt mine, and it's a rightful salt mine. It's not. You're not wrong to be upset that you don't get into this because it's random. I got upset when I would do the bunny fate and I didn't get a bunny. That happened every 15 minutes. We don't know how often critical engagements are happening. There's no indication of the frequency. Right. They do say actually that this content actually triggers somewhat frequently. So maybe it just triggers so frequently that if you don't get in, it doesn't feel that bad. But I don't know. I kind of feel like they should make it so that if you're in an instance and you do get into one, that you get a debuff, that means you can't go back into one. But then that problem is in low man instances, you have to miss critical engagements with that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm still hyped, dude. Because that's not even the thing that's going to be the biggest salt mine in critical engagements.
Oh, I think I know what you're referring to.
When you're inside of a critical engagement, the highest contributor will get to 1v1 the enemy general with all the other players standing back cheering them on.
AKA fucking judging, because we are some fucking judgmental bastards and we will watch you. We ain't gonna cheer for you. We're just gonna be looking like that fucker ain't gonna get it.
So this is really what people want to know by contributing. Because one of two things is possible. Okay. If skirmishes actually do give you proper battle reports that scale with damage dealt, healing done, enmity generate, whatever, one role is going to be the one that always gets selected as the highest contributor, which will be the role you see the most people going, whether it be DPS, tank, or healer. My guess would be tank or healer, depending on how enmity is factored into it. If enmity is factored in, tanks will always win, which is why I don't think it will be.
No. I mean, they had to take that into consideration because a lot of us are DPS.
I think they have, which is why I don't think this will be any different than bronze, silver, gold. Because if you do bronze, silver, gold, it just selects someone who got gold randomly. One of the 48 people.
So, okay. Let's go ahead and throw this question out there. What would be the factors in terms of, what would be the factors to add to your quote unquote point total at the end of this to say, like, hey, I contributed this much. Hey, I did this much. I mean, you can't really say it's DPS. You can't really say it's you healed this much. You can't really say enmity gain. Those can't be the only factors because, like, you're, again, 3 totally different monsters. There has to be another consideration, or a consideration in concert with your specific role. So what would be that consideration?
I'm willing to bet they just do bronze, silver, gold. Because I refuse to think they've actually come up with a system that balances these elements to a point that it isn't, a problem.
Okay. See, that wouldn't be fair. Like, to compare this to how a person becomes Odin, that wouldn't be fair.
I've been Odin before, Sly. That shit is a fucking toss-up. I was
and I would be okay with that. I would be okay with a toss-up, like a random person. Like, just pick a random fucking person in that instance. Congratulations. You got drafted. Good luck, have fun. Hopefully you know what you're doing. We're judging you.
I just don't think they'd come up with a system that's accurate enough to not make one role dominate. They either have to overemphasize DPS because healers can heal and DPS, and then your best DPS always gets it. But then if your tanks can never get it because they're not the highest DPS and they have no healing, that means Enmity needs to play some sort of role, or the least amount of damage taken needs to play some sort of role. But if the least amount of damage taken is playing too much of a role, then tanks will be the only one that ever gets in. So there's almost no way, because none of these values are, I guess, balanceable against each other, even with like modifiers of like a 0.8 or a 0.6. There's going to be something that doesn't add up correct, and one role will almost definitely be the role that gets it every single time. They can do things like number of avoidable AoEs you've avoided to determine how much you were actually trying versus greeting, but then what if everyone avoids the same amount? Then do they go to the same old calculation that they just did that also doesn't seem like it's going to work, you know? So there's just... There's question marks about how it'll actually pick the contributor. And I'm going to do this shit until I become the top contributor. I want that 1v1. I want that moment. I want that glory. All right? And I'm going to fucking get it. All right?
And again, Yoshi P described it as a one-man savage, or rather than say one-man savage, it's more of a one-man ultimate.
No. See, he says shit like that. Here's the thing. He says 2 sentences later, if you are good at battle content, you won't have a problem. So he knows there's people who aren't good at battle content who will get selected.
Yeah, he knows. He knows. But again, this like plays into all goes back in the day when I did my solo dungeon bullshit. Like this unsynced solo dungeon bullshit. This is right up my alley. I love shit like this. I love it. But
between second and final coil, that's what he means. Yeah, this will be between second and final coil, clearly.
Solo final coil, sure. Why not?
Between second and final coil. Their infamous statement that described normal mode. Oh no, that's what they said about Midas, actually. They said that about Midas Savage. It would be between second and final coil. For anyone who wasn't there, it wasn't. It was way harder than both.
It sure was not.
Oh my god.
So, yeah.
I'm so excited.
I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for it. I'm like you. I want to experience it at least once, just to say like, hey, I did it.
I'm gonna make a weapon.
Maybe I got my.
I'm gonna make a weapon. I'm gonna make a weapon in here because you got to remember we still have the choice of whether or not you make the weapon in here, or if you make the weapon in other content, which we'll get to that point in the interviews in a few points.
Right.
It's like 2 or 3 points down. But we also got some other news. Baldesion Arsenal 2 is in 5.4. Which goes... So here's the thing. My prediction was 5.3. I was hoping for 5.3 for BA2. But we got critical engagements. We got skirmishes. We got lost actions. We got a lot of the things that made Eureka good by the end of it all. So it's good that we're getting a lot of those things now. We need to see how it actually pans out. I have other questions about Bajda, but hopefully they're answered on Wednesday. But BA2 is confirmed for 5.4. That means Savage prog and then BA2 prog like 6 weeks later. And I'm hyped. They are even giving it 2 difficulties. So you can do normal mode Baldesion and Savage mode Baldesion. Well, the new I can't keep calling it BA because we're not talking about BA. We're talking about the new.
But it is BA.
Yeah, but people are going to think that if I say this, they're going to think that I heard they were adding difficulties to Baldesion Arsenal. No. It's a new type of content like it, and the new content will have 2 difficulties.
Okay, here's the thing. I'm glad they listened. I'm glad this proves that they were listening to all the comments and like all the feedback they got in terms of BA, in terms of the bar of entry. But yes, there are 2 difficulties. But in the harder difficulty, do you still think there will be a community bar of entry?
Yes. Discord, 150% there will be Discord groups forming the same way they did last time. I don't see that not happening. And I think that because that's happening, that's why 2 difficulties needed to happen.
And see, that's why I say, like, I feel like this is artificial. I feel like the devs gave everyone access, but they didn't give everyone access. Like, again, this goes back in the day when normal versus savage was a thing. Like when that first got introduced.
I say Sly, that's like, still definitely a thing.
I mean, it's definitely a thing, but like when it first got introduced. But yeah, like normal versus savage, it sounds just like that. That argument that we had.
So is it going to be like Coil with Echo? Is that what normal mode's going to be like? Because that's what they said that about Gordius. They said Gordius normal is going to be like Coil with Echo. Hey, for anyone who wasn't there, it wasn't. It was way easier. I wonder how rewards are going to be done separately then, because obviously they're going to give the higher difficulty a better reward. Maybe it's like the mount drops from there or something. Yeah, like the Ozma equivalent mount would drop from there.
Obviously, but at the same time, it's going to be gated by us.
Yeah.
By us.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the shittiest part about it, is that we are going to self-gate people from getting in and getting those rewards, even though there are 2 difficulties. And yes, people will go into the, I guess, normal difficulty and learn, and then they're going to want more, but still be gated by the community, which really means we didn't solve. Like, they listened, but they didn't solve a thing. They just created.
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I think they've done the exact thing they needed to do for this, because
have they?
Yeah, because here's the thing: if you want to do content that is as punishing as Baldesion Arsenal, it's not hyper difficult. But if you want to do something that's punishing and you just want to do it on a whim and do bullshit and just hop in with like no sense of camaraderie or importance, that is not the place for you. It just isn't. The fact that there's a normal mode, which I'm actually assuming the lower difficulty will not have the resurrection problem. I'm assuming they're going to completely forego not allowing you to resurrect in the normal difficulty. But if something is you die, you're gone for good, which means your contributions are gone for good. You're one less body they could have taken. If you're doing content that is like that, there needs to be some onus on you to perform. And having a coordinated attack for that needs to happen. You need to have something as coordinated as an actual like a voice comm or just a strategy or just a leader of some kind. The problem with BA was they said it was
in everybody content though.
But it's not every. That's the thing. The higher difficulty is not everyone content. The higher difficulty is responsibility.
They described this like
but that was their problem. That was the problem.
They described this as everybody content.
They described it as a public dungeon. That was the official title given to Baldesion Arsenal, was public dungeon. That was a fucking mistake. And now the normal difficulty we can pretty safely say is public. I'm going to call the harder difficulty the private dungeon.
Yes.
Because if you are fucking around and not trying, not the place for you.
Okay, there's a difference between not trying and, first time learning.
But here's the thing. The Discord groups, you have to openly welcome people to come and learn. They do not say you need that. I think the biggest misconception with the Discord groups is their willingness to actually help first timers. Let me give you an example that is very recent. All right. Yes. I did Baldesion Arsenal 3 days ago on Ether. It was what was considered an impromptu fragment plus run. What that means is it was not scheduled. They just said, hey, I want to lead this. Does anyone else want to go? And it formed. We had people leading different groups. They made sure we had the right things. Bam, we had a group. We were good to go. Welcomed first-timers, welcomed veterans. They just had to, and they explained every fight. They stopped and explained every fight. They said, veterans, if you know what to do, go get something to eat, go get something to drink. Make sure you don't time out from inactivity. You're good. We're going to explain this for all the new people. If new people died, they asked people to step to the side if you had a resurrection. They made sure that we got the new people resurrected because they had mounts. They had mounts that they needed to earn still, whereas we already had our mounts. And you know what? What was literally looking like a terrible fucking run, so many fuck-ups on like little things that led to extra Logos actions being used, extra deaths, having less people, fights taking longer, resulted in a win by the end of it all, with a ton of first-timers that had to have it explained to them and practiced in that initial run. Or at the very least did not have a clear status that they could say, okay, I don't know this, but we had first-timers, uncleareds, and vets. All in the same group, successful run. And there's no salt. There was no problems with it whatsoever. It was a completely welcome thing because that's the type of run that was advertised. Now, they do also do re-clear runs that are scheduled and say, okay, if you have clear status, we're looking for like quick, easy, and done. And then they have this. But there's a good balance between the two. Then they do bullshit runs like only casters. Or only like 56 caster BA. Or only like they do crazy shit like that too. In there. It's so vast that just because the only thing gating you being you gotta join a Discord group. I get that. People don't want to do it.
Is that really the only gate though?
It is. Because they're creating, they're not saying you're not allowed to go. They're making sure the communities that do all of this are making sure that they're getting new people in. They understand the importance of getting new people in.
This is the gate now. This is the gate now. When this was first a thing, when BA was first a thing, it was a little bit gray. It was a little bit more gray.
No. What happened when it first came out is it was advertised as a public dungeon, meaning anyone should be able to hop in. That was the incorrect way to go about it. They advertised that. Square Enix advertised that. Discord groups were coordinating and asking people, please, we have a coordinated group. We're trying to... And in a lot of those coordinated groups were people learning. They were first-timers. They weren't just these re-clear groups that were going and smashing BA. But they were asking, portals. Like, we have this structure. We are helping people. But we also need these portals so we can make sure that there's actually a structure here because we want to get people to clear. Please join this Discord so we can get you in as well. And then people would just say, fuck it, take the portals. And you know what? Because it was advertised as such, I don't agree with people who are harassing people who took portals. It was advertised as a public piece of content. Anyone can queue in. There's no fault on the person who took the portal. It's like when people complain about someone pulling a hunt early when they're the person who spawned it or something like that. It's like the people who are coordinating it.
To me, it's almost like, hey, I don't really have a group. I don't really have a FC. I don't really have a group. I'm just going to, on a whim, do Raid Finder and see what happens. It feels like that.
Yeah, that's what the Discords are for. I'm just saying that if you want to step into any content in the game where, again, your contribution, your DPS, your healing, your death, all of that is impactful on the final result, don't feel bad or don't feel entitled to the entrance when there are people who have put the work forward, that have coordinated it, that really want the success and are not bullshitting around. But on the flip side, if you're one of those groups that were running and you're being a dickhead to people in the instance, you also had no right to those portals. I'm against that attitude. But I'm also against the attitude of, fuck these people who are trying to do this with their coordinated content. I'm just going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah, I mean, no, I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. It just, I don't know.
And also, the Discords were disciplined people who were assholes, who were like leaders, who were telling people.
And that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, again, this is nothing against, a good community, a good set of group of players who create the discords, who encourage team play, who encourage cohesion, and who take the time to set it up. This is, to me, this is more directed at the devs more than anybody. Like, this is nothing against the community. This is more at the devs.
Yeah, they should have never called it a public dungeon. It was never designed to be something you could hop. It was never jump in, jump out content. That's the big thing. Eureka was hop in, hop out content.
Why, like, and this is what I'm asking them, why loop it in something so public? I mean, yeah, you can, put aside public dungeon for now. Put aside that naming convention. To loop this into something with so many people who want to do content, like, why would you do that?
Yeah, it's a lot of it we can kind of tie back to the design flaw of Eureka, in that it was trying to capture old school essence in a modern day MMO. Because that's this kind of shit is like the norm if you go back a decade in MMOs.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, yeah, we really need to give it that old school feel of like, this like right to earn entry and all that. Like, it seems like tossed all that shit out the way. We also don't know what the entry for the new BA is.
Okay, I love this comment. BA was a public dungeon about as much as Blue Mage was solo content.
Listen, Blue Mage has 30 missions of solo content. Blue Mage has 30 missions. You're not wrong. Blue Mage has 30 missions of solo content, all right? You got 30 whole missions of solo content.
Oh, God.
And if you're like me, you spend 48 minutes soloing Ifrit hard mode. That's also solo content at level 50. It's not anymore, but it was. Or you spent 30 minutes soloing ADS because you really wanted to say, look, I soloed something. And I'm going to be honest, a lot of Blue Mages underestimate. You could solo all the dungeons with not a whole lot of actions to get the actions you needed on Blue Mage. You could solo a lot of those dungeons back then, but it required a great deal of effort. So, I'm just saying, it's there. But yeah, no, the problem was they really tried to tie it into being old school, and it seems they've thrown that out. The big thing is we know there's no portals for the new Baldesion Arsenal. So the question is, how do you enter? Because it has to be something more direct, which may mean that because there's two difficulties. My hope is that because there's two difficulties, an instance that has people that want to do the hardcore one, people have coordinated it, will probably they'll be able to fill that without people filtering in. There'll definitely be some. There'll still be, this problem will repeat. I find it's unavoidable this problem will repeat. And I think they will once again make items that allow you to ensure entry, like they did with the first BA, to try and maybe curb this out a little bit. But I think the hope is that by having two difficulties and having two of these running simultaneously, that you'll be able to do whatever. Who knows? Maybe they'll just make it so your alliances can walk up to an NPC and start the arsenal without like triggering an event that then triggers the entry that then everyone has to rush in and enter. They could do that, and that completely undoes the problem, because then for the normal difficulty dungeon, it's easy for groups to be like, hey, does anyone want to do BA? Looking for group 1, group 2, whatever. And then for the more structured ones, people can look for an instance where nobody's running the hardcore one, and then they can all just go in, and that's the end of it. So there's still questions around that. But I will say that if you're going into the higher difficulty one with no fucking plan, please join a Discord group. Save yourself the trouble. Save everyone the trouble. They will help you. They will teach you. Even now with the current Baldesion Arsenal, before we get the Bajja Arsenal, you can get a feel for it now. And I would highly recommend you do so. All right. I'm gonna sip my coffee out of my cup noodle. I'm gonna sip my coffee out of my cup noodle mug now. Perfect. Now on to making your resistance weapons.
Yeah.
We didn't get much new about this. Two methods. One inside Southern Bajra, one not inside Southern Bajra. The only confirmation we got, which I think is hilarious, is the interviewer asked, is it something like doing like Atma or light farming? You know, he's like, well, it's like, you know, we can't tell you anything about it now, but it's probably something similar, you know? It's like, just say yes. You literally just said yes in so many words, I can't even describe it. But I mean, like, no, but yeah, you know? Like, no, but, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, you're going to have it's exactly what we thought. Between Anima Weapon and maybe it'll be somewhat different. Who knows? Maybe there will be something else that's different. No. Anyway. It's going to be Atmas and light farming. Like, that's what it's going to fucking be. I have no doubt about that in my mind. Unless they're like, go kill 1,000 of this, like, world enemy or something. Go kill 1,000 mobs in Ilmeg. How about that? Go kill 1,000 mobs in Ilmeg, Sly. Ready to go kill 1,000 mobs in Ilmeg? And then 1,000 mobs in Lakeland, and then 1,000 mobs in Tempest.
I did that. It was called Multi-Killer Gems.
Kill 1,000 more.
Oh, great. Thanks.
That's the only, like, what else is it going to be? Like, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be collect farmable items and Atmas and lights. That's what people said they wanted back. That's what they're going to fucking get. I'm going to do Bajja. I'm not going to do it this way. I kind of want to do it once this way to see, like actually get a feel for, like, how they balanced it versus Bajja. That might be the only thing I do, but, you know, other than that, I got to replay 5.3 already, so maybe don't want to do this twice as well. So, I got to play 2.0 in 5.3. Yeah. And they also said there's not going to be an elemental wheel. The spinning wheel, the Magia board, that's not going to be in Bajja, which makes sense.
Thank God.
/ auto Magia, though? We had / auto Magia.
No.
We had it. It was there.
I didn't realize it.
Well, I mean, okay, so we got through Bajja, we got through that. Well, fortunately, the real content was at the end, closer to the end of the interview. All right. So then we got into, like, crafting, gathering, beast tribes, and some, like, other random news. But there's going to be 8 whole new umbrellas.
Oh, boy!
There's going to be some in Ishgard. There's going to be some in Bajja.
Yeah, boy!
Some of them are even going to be Japanese themed.
Oh, shit!
Dude, that's fucking money. Oh, you know what they just told me? I get to make money in Bajja.
In chat. Holy shit.
Dude, if there's elemental conflicts or something equivalent to that in Bajja and it drops the umbrellas, I'm going to make some fucking bank, yo. That's all I can think of. The real content that we were waiting for. What if you only get the umbrella from the 1v1 battle? That's it. The fucking
that would be fucked up.
You beat the general. Really you beat the general, and he's like, I submit as a sign of your worthiness. I present to you this umbrella. I'm only thinking about the greed. I'm all about that. There we go. That person's gonna be rich. There's also going to be Sky Steel Tool upgrades. There's going to be new crafting gathering equipment with a higher item level. The pentamelded stuff in 5.3 will be better than Sky Steel Tools at first. But then we got this. Fashion items.
Yeah.
Remember when they said they were going to be adding some new lifestyle content? I think this was it.
I think this is it. This is like the RP content. And I'm interested. I just need to know more. Like, from the description they give, it sounds good on paper. Like, they say, for example, hug a teddy bear while walking. That sounds good on paper. I just need to see it.
But essentially, they're lugging umbrellas into this new category of fashion items where they can create a concept of an item that is collectible, that has its own emotes and animations tied to it that you can use for G-posing or just for, messing around in the towns, role-playing, whatever it is you actually want to do. This is pretty... I didn't predict this for the lifestyle stuff. We were still predicting the minion farm, which is MIA in this interview. We still don't know about the minion farm if it's 5.3 or if that's still like on the docket or anything at all. But it's essentially persistent emotes or events that are taking place. Holding the umbrella and walking around, holding the teddy bear walking around. I can't even think. Maybe roller skating. I don't fucking know. It's like, but things like that. Not roller skating. You're not into roller skating. That's it.
I mean, I used to be when I was younger, but nah, I grew out of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what they were talking about. I'm assuming that's one of the big lifestyle updates they're talking about. But I have a feeling that it won't just be role players using it. It'll probably be just a lot of people like G-posers. A lot of G-posers using it. It's just some people who just want to walk around with a teddy bear, you know?
Yeah.
Hugging teddy bears, umbrellas, and head pats. There you go. That's the winner. Then the new beast tribes. The dwarven beast tribes are in Lakeland.
That's weird as hell.
Yeah. Maybe it just means it starts in Lakeland?
Yeah, maybe that's the starting quest, and then you all of a sudden get to Tamra for whatever reason.
Unless maybe they're trying to build like maybe Bismarck needs like braces or something, and we're trying to craft like because he's got like fucked up teeth. Maybe we gotta craft some braces for Bismarck.
That's the lore excuse. Bismarck has fucked up teeth.
Yeah,
we really like, and Urianger is just really tired of scrubbing teeth and doing all that shit because he's the only one who knows how. Yeah,
we gotta get really Bismarck Invisalign. We gotta get Bismarck some Invisalign up in that bitch. There you go.
Some dwarven Invisalign.
Dwarven Invisalign. No one can see their teeth. They wear helmets all the time, but they wear that shit. They're like, for when we see each other, when we take this helmet off, our teeth are gonna be fucking straight. All right. My actual guess, that was my meme guess. My actual guess just came up in the chat, which is they're going to be helping the elves of Lakeland rebuild some semblance of their presence in the Lakeland. Because we know that their fort has been completely taken over. And that they could probably use a bit of a foothold somewhere out there. And that is a major story plot point from the Fates in Lakeland itself. So that's the more reasonable thing to actually think. But I still didn't expect Lakeland. Expected Tamra or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Tamra.
No. Tamra is the good the not shitty village. Kamra, I think, is the one to the east, where we do the.
Oh, you're talking about in the mines.
Yeah. Kamra is the one where we were gonna have the carnival. Maybe they're gonna have the carnival in Lakeland. I don't know, but that's where it's gonna be, and there will be a mount. And we've actually already seen we saw the minion. There's the mount in that press kit too that we saw like a while back. It's not even that. It's the frog. That's just part of the quest. That's not a mount or a minion. I mean, it is a mount, but it's a mount from the Super Fate in Calusia. So that's not going to be the mount. Then the rest is they talked again about setting up their work structure from home and like the difficulties of that. It's even more details. I really appreciate that they go into the details about what the actual.
I do too.
Yeah,
I do too, because it leaves a certain amount of transparency that I feel isn't really required. I didn't ask for it. I wouldn't ask them of this, but I feel it's required for those a little bit less understanding, because at the end of the day, when you read all this, and it, like I suggest you read it. If we can throw a link, I
was gonna throw a link to the original, but I closed it because you made this. But it's on Reddit anyway. It's also on the Final Fantasy 14 Reddit Discord. It's in the translations tab.
I highly suggest you read the entire interview just so you can get all the info we talked about, but this part in specific.
Read about how they had laptops that couldn't run the game above 15 FPS and sometimes as low as 5 FPS.
Mm-hmm. So with all this, it really begs the question, and I've asked this before, I'll ask it again. How fair? I mean, as players, we love this game. But at the same time, we realize most of the time. But at the same time, we have to realize this patch wasn't done under perfect circumstances. And like from what they said in this little blurb right here, it's pretty much made apparent. So how fair is it to, really go in on this patch if it's not like up to snuff, really criticize this patch? How fair is it?
I don't think there were conditions that will have any impact on the patch itself. Here's the thing: the absolute only thing that I would expect is the audio quality on some of the voice acting to maybe sound a little different, but like,
that's still a criticism. And that's still a criticism.
Yeah.
How fair is it to like really go in on like, well, fuck, we haven't, like, in terms of like quality, quote unquote, not like lore and everything, not because people will still bitch about lore.
Patch, like, I don't think it's going to have affected I don't think it's going to have affected any of the content. The way 14 content is done, it isn't something that, unless it's like uber buggy. Like, if it's super buggy, that I'll be like, oh, that's probably because of that. But they didn't just take 2 extra months for nothing. If they felt like they weren't going to get the right quality patch out, they'd have waited longer.
You say that, but we'll get to something like I make a note of in a second. But, and see, the even further unfortunate part about this patch is this is the patch that is closing out the Shadowbringers story. So it's definitely an important patch. And it's unfortunate that these circumstances happened. But, like, really, how much judgment can we pass on this patch just because of these circumstances? I don't really think it's fair. And this is partial, like, I guess partial devil's advocate. I really don't think it's fair to harshly criticize this patch if it didn't meet your standards. And I understand everybody's standards are different. I get it. But there's still this caveat, there's still this asterisk of, well, development was hindered by COVID-19. And like you said, it listed like, being able to operate the game at like 5 to 15 FPS, like, which is really shit. If I'm hitting under like 55, I freak out. I'm sorry. But 5 to 15, yeah. I mean, and these are our devs we're talking about. So
I'm not judging this patch any differently. If I see something that's off, I'll be like, that's probably why. But I'm not judging this patch any differently from any other patch. Yeah. Because the whole reason it's delayed is because it just took them a while to get these systems into place.
And you don't think something will slip through the cracks?
Yeah, right? If they released it on their normal schedule, then I'd say this, yeah. But the whole point of the extra 2 months was to release a patch of the same quality. If it is, and keep in mind, again, quality is a very specific term. I'm not expecting like bosses to be missing or anything like that. It's still all the same content we're used to getting. Other than potentially like an audio clip sounding off, I don't expect it to be any different.
Right. Then, like, and we're really skipping through it because down further through the other blurb, like the last part of the interview, the other section. Next ultimate difficulty is already under production, but there is currently another huge thing under development right now. So the devs are taking the whole stance of let's get them done quickly so that we can rest in ease right now because they don't want anything that affects their future plans.
Okay. That doesn't say anything. That's fancy talk for we're working on a lot of big things. Let's make sure we get that shit done. There's nothing deeper to read.
Quality versus to me and some people it'll sound like quality versus let's just get this out.
No, it's not though. It's literally let's get it done quickly. they're trying to basically what's the term I'm looking for? They're expediting the process with which they develop it. They clearly have a normal pace they work at these. Let me finish.
Yeah,
they clearly have a normal pace that is considered what they're used to approaching any piece of content. Like QA takes this amount of time, bug testing takes this, whatever. They're expediting it and putting more of their actual active time into it to finish it in an earlier date. Not, we're going to rush it, lower its quality to get more than one thing done. That's not the goal here. The goal here is to make sure that it's done to the quality they want it, but they want it done sooner. It's not we're rushing it and half-assing. We have T as an ultimate, and they took time on that one. This can't be worse. That's all I'm saying. Remember everything from Alexander's in T. Oh, except like 90% of the things people thought were going to be in there.
I'm so curious as to what this next ultimate's going to be. My God.
I'm telling you, man, it's going to be the Triad and Thornton. That's it. Easy. Where's my fucking heights, dude? Where's my heights? Where's my digititis? Where's my magnets? Come on now. It's gonna be Moogles and Warring Triad. There you go. No, I don't. This isn't gonna. It doesn't. It's not gonna matter. It's gonna be the same as every other ultimate. People will be fucking googly-eyed about it. It's not gonna. Okay. You say that. You say it's gonna be the same as every other ultimate, but it's still gonna have this asterisk. No, there's no asterisk. Development hindered by COVID-19. Okay, so the problem is not what they're saying. The problem is people don't understand how games are made. is the bigger problem here. People don't understand how games are made. people don't understand how games are made. Yes, you're right. But to the people who do understand, and I really feel like half of their decisions, I'm going to say half, a percentage of their decisions are based on our antiness. Like, they have to read the fucking forums. They have to know how. Oh, they do. Have you seen Yoshi P's reply to fucking parsers on stage now, where he just like, leave. I don't even want to talk to you anymore. He's like, just get out. You're not someone I want. That. I haven't even heard about that. What? No. I'm just saying that's his general attitude towards it. Like, he's like, I'm just leaving. I'm out. I don't want this anymore. I hate this. Oh, okay. It's his general attitude towards it. So it's like, he reads some shit, all right? So they have to know that, like, people are fucking antsy for no fucking reason. And this is the wrong side of the antsiness. This is the the entitlement side. Like, hey, we pay for this content and I know shit's going down, but fuck, god damn it, I've been waiting for this content for how many fucking months? People have been like that over the past 2-3 months. I can't take it. Oh. First of all, fuck y'all. Fuck you, entitled son of bitches. Yeah. I'm going to say it. No, you can say it. I'll agree. If you're complaining about the patch taking 2 months longer, it's just like, what the fuck, dude? Get over yourself. And that has to have some kind of influence, and I hate that it does. I hate that it, like, if it's a possibility that it does, I hate the fact that it does. Yeah, if they were smart, they'd just, maybe not pay for those 2 months and not complain. Ghost of Tsushima just came out today. It is a
bomb ass fucking game. Like seriously, go fucking play it if you have a PS4. Seriously.
Bro, I had 2 extra months to play games, and now all the games come out like 2.5 fucking weeks before 14. Sons of so fucking bitches. I found out Fate Tactics comes out July 31st. And Mortal Shell comes out in September, and that's when Bosch is probably going to be.
By the way, that Mortal Shell demo was good as fuck.
No, it was so good.
It was so fucking good.
It was so good.
It was bullshit how it cleared it, though, and I'll talk about that in post-show.
Yeah, good.
It was good. It was good. But yeah, like, there's other shit to do. Like, it is okay for you to, if you really want to take that hard stance about, oh my God, I'm entitled to this fucking content, then, like,
oh, Neo 2 gets DLC on the 30th? Cool.
I still need to fucking play Neo 2. But back to my point. If you really felt that entitled to the content, just stop your sub. Go play other shit. Like,
this is what talks.
We can list you a bunch of games for you to do and play while you're waiting on content. And then, once you get this content, it's okay to have an opinion. It's okay to have criticism. It's okay to be critical of a game you love. Let it be constructive, though. That's the only thing I'm saying. Let it be constructive. There's a lot of shit going on, and stuff may have fallen through the cracks. Hell, they might have even knocked it out of the park. Who knows? We won't know until we get the patch. But be constructive about it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you paid your sub. Good for you. High five.
Like, I guarantee you, I hate the Nier raid. It's gonna happen. But it's still the exact thing I expected it to be. I just don't give a fuck about the way they're doing it. It doesn't change that it's still going to be it's still 24-man raid that you're probably going to do if you want the shit that's in there. It's going to happen, all right?
But yeah, that's really the only thing that like concerned me about these statements. Not from the dev side, but like just from the people side, which is again people debuff outside of the fucking game. Oh, and one last thing. Yeah. There are also many requests about rerunning the FF15 collab event. So the team is thinking maybe it'd be a good idea to do. I agree, it is a good idea, but this will require them to know when to slot them in because there are other seasonal events underway too. Here's your solution. Fit it in as soon as possible and dump Yokai Watch. There you go. Fixed it for you. Love you, Square Enix.
Good thing the Yokai Watch event is coming before the 15 collab.
I know. I was just saying as a meme.
Good thing. It's excellent. Hey, you know what didn't happen this year? Where the fuck was my Make It Rain campaign? That's usually in June.
What?
No, we didn't get it, but it normally is.
No.
You're looking at the previous dates? June
6th. Holy shit, you're
Told
right.
You.
Fuck.
We got it 2 years in a row. They just skipped this year.
Mm-hmm.
There's no gold saucer on the 1st, so they couldn't run it.
Really?
That's gotta be it. That's gotta be because there's no gold saucer on the 1st. No, I don't think that was the reason. Yeah, I want my Make It Rain campaign. I always do at least a little bit on the Make It Rain. You know what it probably is? They probably had no new rewards planned for the gold saucer around that time, so they decided not to run it. They had new rewards, both previous Make It Rain campaigns. There were new rewards that were like either came out right before or like in the middle of it. So it's probably why, to be honest. If the patch came out at regular time, we might see it later this year. Then we might actually see it towards the end of the summer. So that's a maybe. I'm gonna put that in my maybe. But yeah, I want to Make It Rain campaign. I want to see more people fail the Yojimbo gate than people who already do, because that gate is fucking hard. That's harder than any ultimate.
It's fucking difficult. Like, I've tried so many times, and I hate my luck during that. I really do.
You're like, oh, I'm doing great. I sure hope I don't get Daigoro under this cup. And then you get Daigoro under the cup every time. Every single time you get Daigoro. Yeah, I want to see more people fail that shit, man. And I need a new murder mystery. Because you got to remember, the Make It Rain campaign comes with a murder mystery every time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's always a good time. So yeah, I want my Make It Rain campaign. Make It Rain campaign's good. That's one of the better events. We'll see. Yeah, Aloha? You nibbling? He's nibbling. Yeah, but that's it. It was a juicy bit of information that we got.
Yeah, that was a lot of fucking information.
What the fuck are they even going to talk about next week now? Honest question. What the fuck are they going to talk about next week?
We'll figure something out.
Well, we don't figure anything out. They figure it out. What are they doing? What are they going to talk about in the live letter? There's going to be a trailer, probably. And then what the fuck else? They're just going to repeat everything we just read here. What the fuck? They're just going to put it on slides.
We can talk about the slides. I mean, that's the thing. We'll have more information.
Yeah, maybe the full hollow. I still have questions about Bajja. Are we gonna
have
hollow? Are we gonna have Bajja?
I have questions about Fall Hollow.
Oh yeah. Fall Hollow is one. I still want a new map. We haven't gotten the roulette maps yet for Shadowbringers. I still want a Plinko map.
A Plinko map?
Yeah, like you do, like the Plinko thing. It falls through. It hits the pegs. Whatever it landed in, either ejects you or like spawns.
Oh, fuck that. No. Fuck Plinko. Hell no. I prefer Wheel of Fortune. Thank you very much.
No, give me a Plinko map.
Oh, God. No.
What if there's one where the party leader gets to play a crane game? You get to control the claw. Come on. Those things are scams. Not in Japan, they aren't, actually. In Japan, they're very fair. They're actually skill-based in Japan.
I was actually pretty good at those in Yakuza, but no, that's a terrible idea.
Come on. I just want a Plinko. I want Pachinko, Plinko. I want all of it. Plinko specifically, I think is Price is Right. That's their version of Pachinko. But yeah, no. Yeah, what about a Koi Koi map?
We still need Koi Koi in the fucking game. We need them to, okay. All right. The next Q&A, forum Q&A, remind me, like somebody tweet at me and remind me of that so I can ask them, hey, I know we have Mahjong. When are we getting Koi Koi? Please remind me. Please.
Okay. You got it. Koi Koi is your Peaches question. That's the peach you will live and die on.
It sure is, because Koi Koi is a fucking awesome game. Just saying.
All right. Okay. All right. Is there anything else we need to cover before I go figure out what I'm doing for dinner?
I figured that shit out during the show. But yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. I had burgers last night. I think I want to do
wings. You want to do wings?
I don't have any wings. I don't have wings. And I'm making a marinade for Nashville hot chicken tonight.
Wings. Order wings.
I'm going to cook that at 5:30 in the morning. That's when I wake up, Sly. I cook when I wake up.
Yeah, I cook breakfast when I wake up.
I do my meal prep at 5:30. It's done by 6. And then I cook and then I make eggs. I make Gordon Ramsay style eggs. And it's amazing. And there's literally no point.
I can agree with you because Gordon Ramsay eggs are good. Like
there's literally no point in eating any other style of egg once you've had a Gordon Ramsay style egg. That's it. It's completely pointless. But that's okay. Then I think that we're good to wrap things up, Sly. And
we sure are.
Go about our evenings. So with that, thank you everyone for tuning in for us yelling about Bajja and join Discords. That's just to double back on that. Just do it. All right. I'll make a video about it and everything. It's going to be fun. Okay. Thank you again to our sponsors for the show. Steel Series, of course, we mentioned at the top of the show, but of course we've also had our patrons.
And Dreams.
No, Dreams. I forgot about that, Sly. No, they're not sponsoring us. Your dreams are dead. All right. They're gone.
No, not my dreams. Your dreams.
No.
Your dreams sponsor the show.
No, not mine. Spider-Man did not sponsor the show, and neither did the cult that was in my dream. Okay. They did not sponsor
that we're sacrificing cats and dogs. Like
that sounds like it's a very cult-like thing to do. I saved those animals, Sly. How dare you? But also thank you to our patrons whose names have been scrolling in the top right of the screen. We of course have our patrons of darkness, Khuja, Cross, on Jenova, and Kurenai Oni. You get special mention, but OBS is really scary whenever I'm running the show, so we try to change scenes as not often as possible, and they haven't changed their images in like 6 months. Call to action. Change your image. Please. I can't just use the Sly and at this image a million fucking times, and I can't use the other ones.
Fucking stop using it, man.
I don't know. I won't. I don't want to, but I have to. I do it on the weekly Q&A, but that's about it. So thank you to our patrons. Thank you to all the names that have been scrolling in the top right. And thank you again to Steel Series. Be sure to enter those giveaways in the YouTube description for Steel Series. With that, Sly, it's been a good talk.
Yeah, we had a good talk.
We had a good talk.
I felt like, we had news and then we had a talk.
Yeah, it was good. It's good. Yeah. So where can they find you at so they can talk to you more?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Gray Fox. I just started Ghost of Sashimi, as people like to call it, aka Ghost of Tsushima, which is an amazing game. Like seriously, think Red Dead Redemption, but in Japan and better. That's Ghost of Tsushima. It's so good. But yeah, I started that today. I will be playing more tomorrow. And then, of course, Station WSOY, grooving you through the 70s and 80s of Japan. So after, Japan, we'll have more Japan. And in regards to that, please look forward to the next summer part of the summer mix. This is part 2 of the summer mix over on Patreon. So please look forward to that. Hype. But yeah, other than that, like just playing Ghost of Tsushima and whatever else comes out. I heard through the grapevine that we may be getting some rumors. I heard through the grapevine that we may be getting some Nirvana news. Again, this is for those who played Valhalla. So maybe we might be getting some Nirvana news. I don't know, but I hope so.
What would determine whether or not you managed to get that? What's like?
Again, it's just a rumor. We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. So I'm hoping we get some Nirvana news. Hoping. Because again, real drinks. They're making real drinks. Okay, that's enough of me. Happy, where can they find you?
You can find me Mr. Happy1227, Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I am not playing Ghost of Tsushima because I want to play it on my own off stream, because that is an experience that
you should do that.
Very intense.
Absolutely.
I had to weigh my options.
I feel like you're being me when I was playing FF7 remake off stream. Yeah.
I want Ghost of Tsushima all to myself, because I don't think I'm going to enjoy it as much if I stream it. That's it.
Did you ever stream Sekiro?
No, I was in Japan when Sekiro came out, and when I came back, it was literally everyone just like backseating all the other streams I watched. I'm like, I don't feel like dealing with idiots.
Do that for Sekiro too. Like seriously, Sekiro is good.
Oh, I'm streaming Demon Souls. I don't give a fuck. That's my next Souls like right there. I'm doing Mortal Shell. I'm doing Demon Souls. But if I see one sword, someone was like, put it in emote only mode, and I'm like, people are just gonna do like. They're just going to be like sword, shield, forehead. And that's it. That's going to be like just block or just parry, forehead. And I'm going to be like, I'm just...
Yeah, they'll figure it a way. Nope. It fucking sucks.
Yeah. There's too many emotes that are words, and there's too many emotes that are expressive enough for me to get the point. All right. So, emote only mode ain't gonna do jack fucking shit. Okay. So I'm doing Paper Mario Origami King instead, which is not a great RPG, but is a really good game so far, at the very least.
Okay.
Yeah. And then I also want to do Mineral Town. I was going to do Ooblets because they're shinies, apparently. But and that's usually motivation enough for me, but I probably won't get to it. And then I found out Fate Tactics is fully releasing July 31st after just finding out about it like a month ago. And playing the demo, it's apparently coming out July 31st. As of today, that was announced. So I have to thrust that into my schedule. And then there's still Crystal Chronicles on the 27th. Yeah, thrust. I have to thrust that onto my schedule. There you go. See? That's chat. See? Look, that's what I get when I do emote only mode when I play if I play Sekiro. It's going to be that. It's going to be only that. It's fucking... Look, I'm mad. I'm mad just looking at it.
He's not even in full, like, emote only mode. Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming out for this week's episode of State of the Realm. We will be back next week to talk about something. Because, like, again, like, there's at this point, there's really nothing the live letter can tell us that we don't already know.
There's always something the live letter can tell us that we don't know about, like Pachinko maps.
We'll find out.
Pachinko maps and Blitzball next week, everyone. We'll see you then. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. We'll see you for that.
See you next week.